Hello everyone. This is the second week of the study of Satipatthana for Foundation of Mindfulness and Vipassana meditation. So last week we talked about how to properly meditate, and the purpose of this meditation is to return the mind that is suffering from worries, stresses, back to the natural state of peace and well-being. So this week we'll talk more about Satipatthana, the four foundation of mindfulness, and how it's used in meditation, which are Kaya, Vedana, Citta, and Dhammas. And it's pronounced Dhammas, by the way, and not Dhamma. I've been pronouncing it wrong this whole time, but I was in a hangout group with Bhante Yuttadhammo last Saturday, and I asked, and he said it's Dhammas. So thank you, Bhante. And I'm also in a study group on Sundays with Bhante Yuttadhammo and the rest of the gang. And we are studying the Visuddhimagga at this time, and it's going really well. I quite enjoy that. So the first Satipatthana is Kaya, which means body, the movement and postures of the body. In the beginning, we watch the rising and falling of the abdomen, but also should acknowledge the position of the body as well, as sitting, or if we're lying down, we say lying, and that may help with to have a more clear observation of the rising and the falling of the abdomen, and or observation of the body. And the second Satipatthana is Vedana. Vedana is feelings that exist in the body and in the mind. When a sensation arises in the body, we should fix attention on it, discarding abdomen, and then we focus on that sensation as a feeling or pain. You know, if pain should arise, for example, we should take the pain itself as meditation, as the object, and say pain, but don't get attached to the liking or disliking of that sensation. Just note it or acknowledge it as pain, as what it is. Any one of the four objects of meditation, because all of them are aspects of reality, it isn't necessary to stay with the rising and falling of the abdomen at all times. Instead, when pain arises, we should observe the new object, which is the pain, and say pain, in order to clearly understand it for what it is, rather than judging or identifying with it. We should simply focus on the pain and create a clear thought, pain, until it goes away. Instead of getting upset or, about the pain, we'll see it. We'll see the pain for what it is, and then we can let it go. When we feel happy, when happiness arises, we should create a clear thought, happy. When we feel peaceful or calm, we should create a clear thought, peaceful or calm, until that feeling goes away. The point is to avoid clinging to the feeling, which would create a dependency on it. When we cling to positive feelings, we will become satisfied eventually when they are gone. Once the sensation disappears, we should return to the rising and falling of the abdomen and continue observing it as rising and falling, but we don't want to force it. We want it to happen naturally and gently come back to the rising and falling, because eventually it will, and then we can naturally come back to the rising and falling. We don't want to have an aversion to whatever arises in the mind. We just want to note it and allow it to go away naturally, so we can gently come back to the rising, falling. The third satipatthana is citta. Citta is thoughts that arise in the mind. Past, the future, good, bad, those things. If thoughts arise while we're meditating, we acknowledge them as thinking. It doesn't matter what we're thinking about, if we're thinking about the past or the future, whatever our thoughts are, good, bad, instead of letting the mind wander and lose track of reality, bring the mind back to the reality of the thought with thinking. We just say thinking. Don't worry about what it might be. Just say thinking. Then return to the rising and falling and continue to practice as normal when that goes away. And the fourth satipatthana is dhammas, with the S, dhammas. Groups of mental and physical phenomena, like mental states that cloud one's awareness, the six senses that by which one experiences reality. So when the mind gives rise to liking, pleased by a certain experience, create a clear thought, liking. When disliking arises, anger, boredom, frustration, etc., create a clear thought of those objects, liking, angry, bored, or frustrated. When laziness or drowsiness comes up, create a clear thought, lazy or drowsy. When distraction or worry arise, distracted or worry. When doubt or confusion arise, doubting or confused, and so on. So these things are hindrances, and when they go away or subside, bring the mind back again to a clear awareness of the present moment by focusing on the rising and the falling of the abdomen. And there are benefits to meditation. The Vipassana, or practice of satipatthana, has a lot of benefits. The first benefit is that the mind will become happier and more peaceful by cultivating the habit of clear awareness of reality. The mind will become lighter, happier, and free from stress and suffering that comes from judgment, and clinging. And most meditators will experience states of bliss and happiness after just a few days of meditating. If they are diligent and systematic in their practice, and if they're heedful and appamada. Appamada means heedfulness and diligence. And these experiences, the happiness and calming and feeling of, feeling lighter, are just simply a fruit of the practice and not a substitute for proper practice itself. And we should acknowledge them as any other experience, as in happy, or calm. But nonetheless, these feelings are a true benefit of the practice that we can see for ourselves, even after a short time of practicing meditation. The second benefit is that we'll begin to understand ourselves and the world around us in ways that are not possible without meditation practice. We'll see clear how our own mental habit causes us to suffer, and how external stimuli are not really a cause for suffering or happiness until we cling to them. It's the clinging part that is causing suffering, getting attached to things and being attached to the feelings. And we will come to see how there is suffering even when we wish only for happiness, how objects of desire and aversion are merely fleeting experiences, arising and ceasing incessantly, not worth clinging to or striving for in any way. And we'll also come to understand the mind of others in the same way. Without meditation, people tend to immediately judge others based on their actions and speech, giving rise to liking or disliking, attraction or hatred towards them. Through the practice of meditation, we will come to understand how others are a cause for their own suffering and happiness. And so we're more inclined to forgive and accept others as they are without judging them. And I think for me, that is the best benefit of all, being able to, to be so forgiving and things like that. The third benefit is that we become more aware and mindful of the world around. Without the support of meditation practice, we might go through most of our waking day automatically without being clearly aware of our own actions, speech, thoughts. After cultivating meditative awareness, we will become more aware of the day-to-day experience of reality. As a result, when difficulty situation arise, we'll be able to respond to the situation with clarity of mind, and accepting our experience and experiences for what they are, instead of falling prey to liking and disliking and fear and anxiety, confusion, and so on. We'll be able to bear conflict, difficulties and sickness and even death much better than we would have without the practice of meditation. And the fourth benefit, the true aim of meditation practice is that we will be able to rid ourselves of the evils in our own mind that cause suffering, the taints for ourselves and others. Anger, greed, delusion, anxiety, worry, stress, fear, arrogance, conceit, and so on. We will see all mental states that create unhappiness and stress for ourselves and others. We'll see them clearly as they are and discard them as a result of that. There are three qualities of mind that must be present while practicing Vipassana, and they are effort, knowledge, and acknowledgement. So the first one, effort. In order to make a proper acknowledgement of an experience as it occurs, we can't just say the word liking or, rising, falling, and expect to gain any understanding about reality. We have to actively send the mind to the object and keep the mind with the object as it arises. While it persists and until it ceases, whatever object it may be. In the case of the rising and falling of the abdomen, for example, we have to observe the abdomen itself. Send the mind out to each moment of rising and falling, rather than repeating the mantra in the head or at the mouth. We have to send the mind to the object and make a note at the location of the experience. Knowledge is the second quality that we have to have in order during this practice of Vipassana. Once we send the mind out to the object, we must direct the mind to becoming aware of the object. Rather than simply saying rising and falling, while forcing the mind to focus blindly on the object, we have to observe the motion as it occurs from beginning to end. If the object is pain, we should try to observe the pain unflinchingly. If it's a thought, we have to observe the thought itself rather than getting lost in the content of the thought, and so on. And then acknowledgement. Once we are aware of the object, we must make an objective note of the experience, establishing, wow, I can't talk today, establishing clear and accurate understanding of the object as it is, avoiding partiality and delusion. The acknowledgement is a replacement for the distracted thought that lead one to extrapolate upon the object, seeing as a good, bad, me, or mine, and so on, rather than allowing the mind to give rise to projection or judgment of the object. One simply reminds ourselves, of the true nature of the object as it is. So I think we will stop it here today. Thank you, everyone, and hope to see you again next week. And Sukhi Hantu, may your practice flourish, and much metta.